Kabayan, have you ever realized the true power we hold? While the world praises billionaires and leaders, it's us, Filipinos, quietly holding nations together. We build their cities, heal their sick, raise their children, sacrificing our own dreams to keep theirs alive. Without us, whole economies would grind to a halt. From Dubai's towers to Italy's care homes, we are everywhere. Unseen but essential, unheard but unstoppable. Today, we expose the countries that can't survive without the grit and heart of the Filipino worker. We are the silent force, the heartbeat of the global economy. And it's time the world knew it. Picture this. Maria, a mother of two from Laguna, clutching a crumpled photo of her kids as she steps into Riyadh's scorching heat. Her heart, shattered, but her resolve, unbreakable. She left everything, birthday hugs, bedtime stories, just to earn enough to feed her family. And she's not alone. This is the untold story of 800,000 Filipinos powering Saudi Arabia from the shadows. Inside sterile hospital walls, it's Filipino nurses wiping tears, holding hands, saving lives, while their own hearts ache for the families they left behind. Under the blazing sun, it's Filipino engineers and laborers, faces burned, bodies bruised, raising Saudi Arabia's megacities from nothing but desert sand. And behind gilded doors are domestic workers, mothers, daughters, caring for strangers' families while their own kids grow up without them. Here's the brutal truth. Saudi's wealth, its towering skyscrapers, its flawless health system, none of it stands without us. Filipino nurses aren't just caregivers. They're often the lifeline, translating between doctors and patients, making life or death decisions on the fly. Why us? Because we are unstoppable, trustworthy, fiercely loyal. We bleed sacrifice, but we never quit. And Maria? 10 years later, she returned home, only to find her youngest didn't recognize her anymore. Gut punch? That's the price many pay for survival. But here's where pride hits. Maria built her family a home, a true fortress, and put both kids through college. Her story is our story, a legacy of resilience written in tears and triumph. Kabayan, smash that like button if you're proud of every Filipino fighting this silent battle. And don't blink. Up next is a country that acts like a global superpower, but secretly leans on Filipinos to keep their nation afloat. You will not believe who it is. Kabayan, have you ever wondered, what if Dubai's glittering skyline, those 7-star hotels, and luxury malls we all dream of suddenly stopped running? Guess who's holding it all together? Yup, us Filipinos. Behind every glamorous shot of Dubai and Abu Dhabi is a Filipino. Maybe you, your neighbor, or someone you love, working silently to keep that dream alive. Let's take Anna's story. She's 29, a nurse from Cebu. When she left the Philippines, she kissed her kids goodnight and whispered, "I'll be back soon." But soon became 7 long years. Every day, Anna races down hospital corridors in Dubai, healing strangers, while quietly breaking inside from missing her own family. Her sacrifice? It's one of hundreds of thousands. Because here's the jaw-dropping fact. Over 700,000 Filipinos now live and work in the UAE. That's nearly 7% of their total population. Imagine that 1 out of every 14 people in the UAE is us. We are everywhere. We shine in every corner of their economy. In hospitals and clinics, where Filipinos make up about 60% of foreign nurses. In tourism and hospitality, where we set the global gold standard for service. In construction, where Filipino engineers and workers have helped raise iconic landmarks like the Burj Khalifa, and in retail and salons, where our warmth and skill make the UAE's customer service world famous. But here's the hard truth most don't see. While we keep life smooth for millions, many OFWs face brutal hours, crazy living expenses, and the ache of being far from home. Some work 16-hour shifts, sending every dirham back to families, dreaming of something better. In 2024 alone, remittances from UAE Filipinos hit over 4.7 billion dirhams, proving just how deeply we hold up both nations. Anna's dream? She's saving every peso she earns to open a free clinic in Cebu. Because for her, it's not just about survival. It's about legacy. Kabayan, if you're proud of how far we've come and how much we've given, smash that like button right now. And I want to hear your story too. What's your UAE journey been like? Drop it in the comments so we can all feel the strength of this community. Oh, and don't even think about leaving yet. Coming up next is a country that claims to be completely independent. But behind the scenes, Filipino workers are the ones keeping it afloat. You'll never guess which one. Stay tuned. Have you ever stopped to ask, what would happen to Singapore if all Filipinos left? Today? Sounds wild, right? But hold up. This isn't some random what if. This is real talk. Singapore, that shiny, futuristic paradise everyone drools over? Yeah, behind those glass towers and spotless streets is our sweat, our sacrifice. And trust me, it's deeper than you think. Liza was just 31 when she stepped off that plane, heart racing, tears held back. She left her 2 little kids in Bulacan, whispering, "Mommy will be back soon." But soon turned into 9 long years. Her first job? Working 16-hour days, cleaning luxury apartments she could never afford to live in, babysitting rich kids while her own cried for her at night. Sound familiar? And here's the kicker. This isn't just Liza's story. It's the story of over 200,000 Kababayans hustling in Singapore right now. Inside homes, we raise other people's kids like our own, while ours grow up without us. In hospitals, we hold the hands of patients taking their last breath, while we miss our children's first steps. In tech and service, with the friendly faces fixing problems, running hotels, keeping the system alive. No one says it out loud, but here's the harsh reality. If Filipinos vanished overnight, Singapore's comfort zone would shatter. Their efficiency? Gone. Their world-class service? Finished. And Liza? After nearly a decade, she finally made it home. House built, loans paid, mission complete. But the moment she hugged her youngest son, he froze. He looked her dead in the eye and said, "8, who are you?" That's the scar no money can heal. Now let me ask you, how far would you go for your family? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you've ever felt that heartbreak, smash that like button so we can raise awareness together. Stay glued, Kabayan, because up next, we're exposing a country that depends on OFWs in ways you won't believe. Buckle up. All right, real talk, Kabayan. Ever wonder what would happen if Filipinos vanished overnight from Hong Kong? I'll tell you straight. Total chaos. Let's break it down. Hong Kong's this shiny powerhouse, right? Dual-income households, parents grinding hard in those skyscrapers. But who's the glue holding their families together? Us, Filipinos. Over 190,000 strong, running the show behind the scenes. We're not just helpers. Nope, we're the nannies, the elderly caregivers, the cooks, the cleaners, the everything. Without us, the whole system falls apart faster than you can say octopus card. Let me paint you a picture. There's Liza from Cebu, single mom, hustling in Hong Kong for 10 years. She's cared for 3 generations of one family, helped raise their babies, nursed their grandma to her last breath. She even taught their kid how to read English. But here's the gut punch. Her own daughter, back home, growing up through FaceTime. Now tell me that doesn't hit you right in the heart. And the numbers? They don't lie. Nearly 1 in 10 households in Hong Kong hires a domestic worker. And guess what? Most are Filipinos. You think Hong Kong runs smooth by magic? Nope. It's powered by the sweat and sacrifice of people like Liza. So, pause for a second. Do you know someone grinding like this in Hong Kong? Type their name in the comments, and let's give them some love today. And yeah, smash that like button too, because this is the kind of truth no one's shouting loud enough. Oh, and don't even think about clicking away, because up next, we're revealing a country whose entire economy is even more hooked on us than Hong Kong. You're gonna want to see this. Stay close, Kabayan. Let's get real for a second. What happens when a country runs out of people to care for its elderly? Sounds dramatic? Well, Japan is living that nightmare right now. By 2040, nearly 35% of Japan's population will be seniors. That's 1 in every 3 people over 65. And here's the scary part. They don't have enough workers to keep their system from collapsing. And guess who's holding the line? Filipinos. Thousands of us have stepped into a crisis that Japan can't solve alone. Take Juanita, a 28-year-old caregiver from Quezon City. She left her toddler behind, clutching only hope and a caregiving visa, to work 12-hour shifts in Tokyo's packed nursing homes. Juanita's days are filled with backbreaking labor and quiet tears, but she knows one thing. Her sacrifice is keeping Japan's healthcare system alive. And she's not alone. Over 3.5 million foreign nationals now live in Japan, with Filipinos making up one of the most essential and trusted backbones of their caregiving sector. TheSILive.com. The government's even fast-tracking caregiving visas and training programs just to keep the doors open. But here's the gut punch. Imagine pouring your heart into someone else's family, while your own waits for you across an ocean. It's beautiful, it's brutal, and it's real life for thousands of OFWs. So what's your take? Are we heroes, or is the world too dependent on Filipino sacrifice? Drop your thoughts below and smash that like button to show love to every kabayan out there hustling for a better future. And hold up, we're not done yet. The next country? Let's just say, if you think this was intense, the next one will leave you speechless. Stay tuned. Imagine living in a country where the very heart of caregiving is in the hands of people you've never met. Now picture this: Canada's caregiving industry, the one keeping homes, hospitals, and families intact, would collapse without Filipinos. Sounds wild, right? But it's the raw truth. Take Marissa, a single mom from Cebu who left her 3 kids behind for a shot at something better in Canada. No fancy promises, just grit and a dream. She now clocks 60-plus hours a week, juggling diaper changes, meds, elderly care, and midnight calls, and still flashes that signature Filipino smile. It's not just work, it's her lifeline to her kids back home, her hope for a future where they never have to make the same sacrifice. But here's the kicker. Canada's aging population is exploding. Without Filipinos stepping in, their system, done for. Over 350,000 kabayans have moved to Canada in the past decade, most filling caregiving and healthcare gaps that Canadians themselves can't keep up with. From our stats, we've got way more viewers than subscribers. Come on, fam, don't just watch from the sidelines. Be part of this community that's repping Filipinos worldwide. Hit that subscribe button now and help us grow stronger. Thank you. All right, back to the story. Now think about this. Filipino caregivers don't just cook, clean, and care. They carry the emotional weight of entire families. They fill in where the system falls short. Without us, many Canadian families would crumble under the pressure, literally. So here's a mind bender for you. If all Filipino caregivers packed up tomorrow, what happens to Canada's social safety net? Would it survive? Drop your thoughts below because this is a conversation that matters. And don't move a muscle. We're about to reveal a country where Filipinos have flipped the script in the most unexpected way yet. You won't want to miss it. Imagine a picturesque Italian villa, where the aroma of freshly baked bread wafts through the air and laughter echoes in the halls. But behind this serene image lies a reality. Italy's aging population is growing rapidly, and the demand for compassionate caregivers has never been higher. Enter Liza, a spirited Filipina from Davao City. With dreams of providing a better life for her family, she embarked on a journey to Italy. Now, she spends her days caring for Signora Maria, an 85-year-old widow with a penchant for opera and espresso. Liza isn't just a caregiver. She's become family, sharing stories, laughter, and even learning to make the perfect tiramisu. But Liza's story isn't unique. Filipino caregivers have become the backbone of Italy's elder care system, offering round-the-clock support, companionship, and medical assistance. Their dedication hasn't gone unnoticed. Recognizing the critical role they play, the Italian government announced an additional 10,000 work visas for caregivers in 2025, addressing the pressing need for elder care professionals. Now, consider this. Without these dedicated caregivers, many Italian families would struggle to provide the necessary care for their loved ones. The emotional and physical toll would be immense. Yet, despite their invaluable contributions, many caregivers face challenges, from language barriers to cultural adjustments. So, let's open the floor. What are your thoughts on the role of Filipino caregivers in Italy? Have you or someone you know experienced this firsthand? Share your stories and opinions in the comments below. And stay tuned. Next, we'll explore another country where Filipinos are making an unexpected and profound impact. Can you imagine walking into a hospital in California or New York and being greeted by a nurse who, just a few years ago, was working in a small town in the Philippines? Jasmine is one of those nurses. She moved to the US looking for a better life, but what she found was a calling. A few years ago, Jasmine was a nurse in a tiny clinic in the Philippines. Fast forward to today, and she's saving lives in a bustling New York ICU. During the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic, Jasmine didn't just show up for work. She put her heart and soul into the job. Every day was a battle, and she was right there on the front lines, saving lives, comforting families, and dealing with the overwhelming stress of the crisis. Her sacrifices were immense, but they weren't in vain. Filipino nurses like Jasmine became the unsung heroes of the pandemic, stepping up when the world needed them most. Now, let's talk numbers. Over 25% of the U.S. nursing workforce is Filipino. That's more than 150,000 Filipino nurses across the country. And it's not just healthcare. Filipinos dominate in hospitality too, with thousands working in U.S. hotels, casinos, and restaurants, making sure we get the service we expect. But the contribution doesn't stop there. Filipino caregivers and home aides are crucial to the aging U.S. population, ensuring that elderly Americans receive the care and attention they deserve. Here's a cold, hard truth. Without Filipino workers in these industries, the U.S. would face a massive crisis in healthcare and service sectors. So, think about that the next time you walk into a hospital or check into a hotel. Before you go, smash that like button if you appreciate the hard work and sacrifices of Filipinos abroad. Also, hit subscribe because in the next video, we'll take a deep dive into another country where Filipinos are making an impact that will surprise you. Now, let's hear from you. Have you had any personal experiences with Filipino nurses, caregivers, or workers in the U.S.? Drop your stories in the comments below. We want to know how Filipinos are changing the game for you. Ever wondered who's taking care of Israel's elderly, especially the ones who survived the Holocaust? But you didn't think of Filipinos, right? But here's the reality. Without them, Israel's aging population would be in deep trouble. Take June, for example. She's been in Israel for over 5 years, living in the home of a war veteran. Not just any war veteran, but a survivor of the Holocaust. She's the one who makes sure this man, who's seen the worst of humanity, gets the love and care he deserves every single day. June's job? It's not just about giving medicine. It's about keeping the memories alive, soothing the pain, and making sure this man doesn't face his last days alone. Now, why does this matter? Because Israel depends on Filipino caregivers to care for its elderly. They're providing 24/7 care to those who served their country or suffered unimaginable loss. Filipinos live with these families, sometimes for years, caring for complex medical needs and providing emotional support. In fact, Filipinos make up a huge percentage of Israel's caregiving workforce. We're talking thousands of people who become an integral part of families. These caregivers aren't just workers, they're emotional anchors, helping hold everything together. If they weren't there, Israel would be in a caregiving crisis. Fun fact, 25% of Israel's caregivers are Filipino. Without them, well, let's just say the system would crumble. Before you click away, hit that like button if you appreciate the heart and hard work of Filipino caregivers. Trust me, you want to stick around for the next segment. We've got some mind-blowing fact coming up about Filipinos' impact across the globe. Stay tuned. Now it's your turn. What's your take on Filipino caregivers? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get the conversation going. All right, let's rewind and recap the amazing journey we just took across the globe. Filipino caregivers are truly making waves everywhere. And here's the proof. In Singapore, Filipino workers manage everything: homes, elderly care, children, and keep the country running with precision. Over in Hong Kong, Filipino helpers are an essential part of the daily grind. offering support, stability, and emotional care to families. Next stop, Japan, where Filipinos step into care for the elderly, managing complex needs with compassion as Japan faces a massive caregiving crisis. In Canada, they're absolutely indispensable, from long-term care facilities to looking after kids and seniors in private homes. Then we hit Italy, where Filipino caregivers offer 24/7 live-in care and truly become part of the family. Over in the United States, especially during the pandemic, Filipino nurses were on the front lines, making huge sacrifices to save lives. And in Israel, Filipino caregivers provide round-the-clock care to war veterans and Holocaust survivors. Now, here's the real question. Which country deserves the final position on this list? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. You're not going to want to miss what's coming next. Let's keep the conversation going.